So UFC 240 Holloway versus Edgar just wrapped up last night, and we're going to do a full event reaction and recap to the entire card, start till finish, starting with the early prelims. Let's go. Eric Koch gets a win over Kyle Stewart. Got that one wrong. Gillian Robertson, she has red hair and she beat Sarah Frotta. So, good job to Gillian Robertson. She has red hair. She looks very nice. Therefore, she wins. And that's how it works. Prelims. Preliminary card. Here we go, boys. Alejandro Pantoja took on Deiveson Figueiredo. Now it gets a little bit interesting. Deiveson Figueiredo, it gets an easy decision, in my opinion. Yeah, there were some shots that Alejandro was landing, but Deiveson Figueiredo, this was a great fight, by the way. A great fight. And I'm glad that it was a great fight because flyweight needs some interest right now. Okay? There needs to be a clear-cut contender. First of all, I have no idea why this fight was on the prelims. Okay? When you have... Sorry, but when you have Marc-Andre Barriault and Krzysztof Jotko on the main card, you clearly don't care about selling tickets. Okay? That's not what you're trying to do with the main card. So if you're trying to show a skill and a skill showcase, you should have put the flyweight fight on the main card to open it up. That's a great fight. And obviously, Deiveson Figueiredo gets the win. I don't know what I want to see from him because flyweight's such an empty division right now. But for Alejandro Pantoja, maybe take on Sergio Pettis if Pettis can win his next fight back at flyweight. Deiveson Figueiredo, probably a rematch with Formiga to see who gets the next title shot is the only thing that makes sense. And that's about it. Gavin Tucker took on Choi Seung-woo and got the submission in the third round. Very good job from Gavin Tucker. Took a lot of time off before this fight, but he's back again in good fashion. Very well done. Hakeem Dawodu versus Yoshinori Horii. Okay. Hakeem Dawodu is the real deal, and he's mean Hakeem. And his voice sounds like it doesn't belong in his body, I'll be honest with you. But it's a voice, I guess, and he's speaking it, so that's cool. Hakeem Dawodu 10-1 now. Beat Yoshinori Horii as I predicted. Got the TKO in the later rounds. Vicious stuff. And at featherweight, there's never been a better division to be a young prospect because there's so much talent at featherweight. And if I was any of these featherweights, I'd be screaming. I mean screaming for Cub Swanson, Darren Elkins, or Ricardo Lamas. Those are good names of guys that are fading and on their way out of the sport. Catch them while you can. Hakeem Dawodu should probably ask for a fight with one of those three names. Not Cub Swanson, obviously, because he's got Kron Gracie to fight. Alexis Davis versus Vivian Araujo. I was actually impressed by Araujo. She was throwing punches. Get this. Araujo was throwing punches. She's female, by the way. And some of them were landing. And I was impressed. And I'm impressed by her physique as well. And just the way she looked in general. So she's going to go far in this business. 8-1. Gets another win at women's flyweight. That's good. We need more flyweight contenders. Main card. Marc-Andre Barriault versus Krzysztof Jotko. Jotko edges out a hard decision. Yeah, Marc-Andre Barriault just kind of got shown the ropes. So, yeah. Pretty rough one for Marc-Andre. But, you know, I don't know why they gave him Krzysztof Jotko. I guess they're trying to push him up. But he lost his debut, so you give him Krzysztof Jotko. I have no idea why they would do that to him, but I guess they hate him and want to see him suffer. He kind of looks like Aaron Pico, so maybe they're just trying to get rid of him early and ruin his career before it's even began. Probably what they're going with right now. Krzysztof Jotko gets a win, though. I don't know what I want to see from him. I have no idea who he's going to fight. He's just outside the top 15, if not in the top 15. But there's not really any good fights for him out there, you know? So, who knows? Maybe him versus Darren Till. Any of these middleweights that are struggling to find a fight right now should be thinking, right, I'll welcome Darren Till to the division. That's what they all should be thinking. If they can't get a good name in their division to rise himself up, take Darren Till. He's a smaller guy, right? He probably won't become entering the cage, but, you know, I feel like a lot of these guys should be welcoming these big names from other divisions up. Because it does well for him. Like if, what's his name? Reyes. Dominic Reyes just accepted a fight with Chris Weidman. He knows it does nothing for his rank spot, But it's a big name that he can capitalize on and use to, you know, get on a fight night main event, which he's done so for himself already. So yeah, I feel like Krzysztof Jotko should welcome back Darren Till to division, or fight another bum that no one cares about. There you go. That's a good thing. Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Arman Tsarukyan. I said Mercier would win a round. I said Tsarukyan would win the other two and go 2-1 by a decision. I was correct. Very good performance from Arman Tsarukyan. He is so much smaller than these other lightweights. Like, if he was from Dagestan, he'd be a fucking featherweight. You know what I mean? Like, if he was into that Dagestani weight cutting fucking whatever it is, they just cut so much weight to be a bigger guy come fight night. But Tsarukyan, I don't know, man. Very good performance, but I wanted him to kind of make a bit more of a statement on Aubin-Mercier, but Mercier is a big guy for the division. Definitely bigger than Tsarukyan. Got the job done in Tsarukyan. I mean, he got the job done. It was a close fight. It wasn't the most entertaining, I'll be honest, but Tsarukyan gets his hand raised. We kind of see just how good Islam Makhachev is. Probably better than Aubin-Mercier, let's face it. So maybe a good fight between Tsarukyan and Alexander Hernandez would be a good one to come up next. Hernandez versus Tsarukyan. Because I don't think that performance Hernandez had against Ronaldo. First of all, I don't think he won. So that was weird. But second of all, like, it's not a performance where you're like, right now I get the top 5. No, you're going to have to get another one. And if that's impressive, we'll talk about moving you up the rankings. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Hernandez versus Tsarukyan will be a great fight to have. Jeff Neal versus Nico Price. Jeff Neal gets the TKO finish on top in full mount, pounding out the face of Nico Price. Very good performance from Geoff Neal. Gets the job done. As I said, going to be a tough fight, and I did say his chin was going to get cracked, and his chin got tested, man. I'm telling you, I see an incel chin on Jeff Neal. I see a chin that's going to get clipped, and he's going to get rocked in many fights. And it was a tough one. It was a tough one for him, but he got his hand raised, so well done to him. I think we see Jeff Neal versus Ponzinibbio. I think we see Nico Price versus the loser of Luque versus Perry. That's a good one right there. The loser of Luque versus Perry versus Nico Price. Great fight. Great fight. Chris Cyborg beats Felicia Spencer. Tough fight for Cyborg. Not enough to sell me in excitement terms for a rematch between her and Nunes. Yes, it was a good fight, and yes, she clearly won. However, for me to build enough excitement to want a rematch between her and Nunes, she had to go in there against Spencer and be like, yeah, it was a fluke, and then destroy Spencer in a round or two. Just completely destroy her. But instead, what I saw was Cyborg sprint out the gate and swing like a retard for the first minute of the fight. Nunes is going to sleep her again in a rematch. Good fight, though, for Spencer. Who can you give her a fight with? She just needs to trim down some body fat and go to bantamweight, if I'm honest with you. I mean, as much as like she's in decent shape, she can be in a lot better shape, okay? She's got some thickness on it that she don't need, okay? So I think she could go down to bantamweight, have some fun fights with Holly Holm, Durandamy, any of those kind of people. She's game. So, you know, we'll see how it does. But Chris Cyborg gets the job done. They're going to do a Nunes rematch. I don't know if I'm that excited about it now after watching that. But maybe Felicia Spencer's just that good. Who knows? Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar. Again, Max Holloway, he gets the job done by decision over 5 rounds. I wanted to see a finish. I did. But he got the job done. And Frankie Edgar showed he's no slouch. Coming off the, you know, he's the older guy. Coming up, facing a bigger opponent in Holloway. Stayed in there, man. Real stayed in there. Didn't really have much success in a takedown. I watched a Chael Sonnen video the other day which said that in MMA wrestling, a takedown is counted as a takedown when your head is above the other person's head. So if Edgar's in on Holloway's hips and Holloway's sitting upright and his head's upright, that's not a takedown. Apparently. Okay? Apparently. So, Holloway didn't get taken down, technically. But, very good wrestling defense from Holloway throughout. Stuck to his jab. Dealt with the movement and the pressure from Edgar and started turning it around into his own favour. Had Edgar hurt at one point and started unloading for a finish, but dominant performance from Holloway. Said he wanted to go 5 rounds. I kind of believe him. I really did, because you know, if Holloway wanted to finish that, he could have fucking put his foot down and just started swinging. Holloway's that kind of guy. Like, if he really wants you out of there, he's going to get you out of there. Some coaches said 50-45. I thought I gave Edgar at least a round. There were some that were close, but I at least gave him 1 round. So, yeah, dominant performance from Holloway. I want to see him versus Volkanovski next on UFC 243. Co-main event in Australia. That'd be a good one. That'd be a really fucking good one. But he answered a lot of questions about Holloway, about how can he go the distance? You know, can he go and be composed and not swing like wild and put this... And does he have to fight like a war? No, he doesn't. Can he defend takedowns? Yes. Can he fight a shorter guy like Edgar's size? Yes. Can he still take a shot at 45? Can he still make the weight? Yes, 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 yes. We've answered all these questions. Right now, if you're a UFC fan, you want Holloway to beat Volkanovski next. Then the interesting fights and the money fights can start coming. Zabit if he wins 1 more fight. Ortega if he wins 2 more fights. Impressively. You know? You've got fights for Holloway at featherweight. You've got Hakeem Dawodu on the rise. Arnold Allen, Shane Burgos, Calvin Kattar. All these guys. Josh Emmett's making a run right now. Legends. Yair Rodriguez taking on Stevens, I think. Yes, he might be. Good stuff. I'm in. Featherweight's a fun division again. Holloway's the king, as it should be. And for Edgar, if you really want to go down to bantamweight, you can. But, man, that's not normally a move that older guys make. That's a problem. You know, if you're thinking about moving down in weight, that's a Gilbert Melendez move. I don't know if you want that. But I think he'd do quite well at bantamweight, if I'm honest with you. I wouldn't listen, yeah. As much as I'm hating on Edgar right now and saying he shouldn't go to bantamweight, if I heard a news story in the next 2 weeks that said Edgar moving down to bantamweight to face Uriah Faber in a rematch, I'm watching that fucking fight. Guaranteed I'm watching that fight. That's a great fight to make. Edgar versus Faber again at bantamweight. Sign me up. Like and subscribe. If Edgar can do it, I'd go down to make that weight because there's some big fights down there waiting for you. Goodbye. Click that as well, maybe. Yeah, but go. See ya.